Today there are a lot of updates from the Kharkiv direction. Here, in a desperate bid to shift the momentum in Vovchansk, Russian command deployed brutal Chechen Akhmat forces to pressure exhausted troops into launching a counterattack to reclaim the Aggregate Plant. What followed exposed just how dire the situation had become for the Russians, with consequences that would decisively shape the battle for Vovchansk. Recent developments in Vovchansk have dramatically shifted the tactical landscape. The focal point of these operations was the Vovchansk Aggregate Plant, which Ukrainian forces successfully recaptured after an intense week-long assault. This operation, which employed some of Ukraine's most elite units, marked a critical milestone in the battle for Vovchansk, as the Aggregate Plant represented the last major fortified position within the city. The fall of the Aggregate Plant has revealed the desperate conditions under which Russian forces were operating. Captured Russian soldiers have disclosed that they were forced to dig wells in the plant's basements to access drinking water, a testament to the severe supply issues they faced during the siege. Moreover, it has come to light that Russian commanders maintained terror control through a regime of deception and intimidation, compelling their forces to hold these untenable positions at great cost. In the wake of this setback, the remnants of the broken Russian forces started to retreat towards the northern parts of the city, transitioning to a defensive posture. To cover this retreat, they had intensified artillery attacks and bombardments, targeting Ukrainian logistical elements within the city. Ukrainian Kharkiv Group of Forces spokesperson Vitaly Sarantsev reported that Russian forces are now digging tunnels and underground passageways between buildings in Vovchansk to conceal troop movements. This shift in tactics indicates a clear attempt to delay Ukrainian advances and facilitate a defensive realignment. Further complicating the situation, Russian sources claim to have disabled the bridge over the Vovcha River on Soborna Street continuation. While this claim is yet to be independently verified, such an action would align with their apparent strategy of hindering Ukrainian progress and buying time for their defensive preparations. In a significant development, reports indicate that Russian command has redeployed Chechen Akhmat elements to the Kharkiv direction to serve as blocking units. These blocking units are reportedly tasked with compelling Russian troops to advance, enforcing punishments, and even executing Russian soldiers who refuse to fight. As you may recall, elements of the Akhmat forces were already pulled out from the Kharkiv direction in August to deploy them as an emergency solution after the start of the Ukrainian incursion into Kursk. Now back again, this drastic measure suggests a severe crisis in morale and combat effectiveness among regular Russian units. After the redeployment of Chechens was complete, the Russian soldiers were forced to attack the Aggregate Plant and restore the recently lost positions. The operation involved numerous MTLB vehicles from the 82nd Motorized Rifle Brigade, fully loaded with infantry on top. Unfortunately for Russians, this attempt proved to be disastrous. Ukrainian forces, particularly their drone operators, effectively repelled the attack. The 57th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade reported inflicting heavy losses on the Russian forces, claiming the elimination of approximately 100 Russian personnel, wounding about 25 more, and destroying 17 MTLB and BMP-2 armored vehicles. Geolocated footage from this failed counterattack reveals the brutal efficiency of Ukrainian drone warfare. Russian soldiers were caught off guard, often unable to dismount from their vehicles before being engaged by FPV drones. In other instances, where infantry did manage to disembark, they found themselves relentlessly pursued by grenade-dropping drones, with little effective cover due to the extensive destruction of building roofs in the area. The original uncensored footage of the failed Russian attempt can be found on our Telegram channel through the link in the description. The absolute disregard for the lives of their soldiers continues to drive Russian commanders to order what can only be described as mid-wave assaults. Ukrainian forces have capitalized on these tactics, further weakening Russian units operating in the region. Overall, as the situation in Vovchansk continues to evolve, it appears increasingly favorable for Ukrainian forces. The capture of the Aggregate Plant, the last remaining fortress in Vovchansk, has significantly improved the Ukrainian position in the area. The coming days may see further Ukrainian advances as they exploit their recent gains, while Russian forces grapple with the challenges of maintaining cohesion and mounting an effective defense with their increasingly exhausted forces. If you're against the invasion of Ukraine and you want to support the work that I am doing, consider making a purchase in the online store UA Supporter. Here you can find a lot of products with Ukrainian symbols to not only show your support for this channel, but also for Ukraine. The link to the online store is in the description. Thank you for watching this report, and I will see you in the next one.